Hi and welcome to E-ZTutoring. Today we are going to determine whether a function has a maximum or minimum value, and we are also going to determine where that value is. So we are talking about quadratic equations here, and every quadratic equation will have a standard form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Now there are two cases, a maximum value and a minimum value. And every quadratic equation will just be a U-shaped parabola. Whether you get a maximum or a minimum simply depends on whether that parabola is facing upwards or downwards. So those two cases are if A is negative and if A is positive. So all you need to do is simply look at your leading coefficient and that will tell you what your case is. So if A is negative, that means that your parabola is going to be facing downwards and your graph is going to look something like that. If your A is positive, your parabola is going to be facing upwards and your graph is going to look something like that. So now you can see that when your parabola is facing downwards, we obviously have a maximum value right there. We don't have a minimum value here because it just goes down forever. So you can't find the minimum since it's going down forever. It doesn't stop. Same with this case. We have a minimum value over here. Let me just label these really quick. Minimum and maximum. This is a minimum value and we don't have a maximum value here because these go up forever. So we don't know where they stop. They just keep on going. They actually don't ever stop. All right, so that is how you can tell whether you have a maximum or minimum value. Now, how can you tell where those values are? Well, these values right here, these are simply the vertices, the vertex of each parabola. And if you can find that vertex, then you can find out your maximum or minimum value. How can you find your vertex? Your vertex, you can find, it has an x-coordinate of negative b over 2a, and it has a y-coordinate of whatever you get when you plug this value into the function. So I will say f of negative b over 2a. Find this coordinate, you found your answer. All right, let's go ahead and do an example here. Let's suppose that f of x equals x squared plus 6x minus 2. In this case, our a value, the number in front of x squared, there is no number, so we can conclude that our a value is 1. So our a value is clearly positive. So we can look at this case and we know our parabola is going to open upwards, which means we're going to have a minimum value. So we can say that this is going to have a minimum at, and let's go ahead and find out where it has a minimum. So of course we do the vertex formula, which is negative b over 2a, negative b, and b is 6, over 2 times a, and a we already said is 1. Negative 6 over 2 is negative 3. And then of course to find your y value, all you need to do is simply plug in negative 3 into here. F of negative 3 equals negative 3 squared plus 6 times negative 3 minus 2. So this is 9 minus 18 minus 2, which is negative 11. So therefore, we have the coordinates of the vertex at negative 3, negative 11. Now, this depends on how your teacher will want you to answer it. You can either just give the point, or you can say it has a minimum of negative 11 at x equals negative 3. But either way, this is how you find out whether you have a minimum or a maximum and how you can find it. That concludes today's video. If you guys ever want ACT or SAT help, be sure to visit my website, www.e-ztutoring.com. Thank you guys, and good luck with this.